The CAT system. It's been fought by many, including Ken Griffin, and is still being fought to this day to not be implemented. In fact, certain rules are now being targeted to not be implemented. This is a strategic move for criminal short sellers, and we're going to get into it right now. Pretty much, they are scared they won't be able to get off the Reg SHO list in the future with this rule. They will have to actually purchase the stock, not just reset the timer. Now, what is AMC Bigum's talking about? He's talking about the voting on the CAT system where they want to take away market maker exemptions being reported. For example, we had a full video on short exempts, and the CAT system is basically going to cause full transparency and reporting across the board, but they're trying to get rid of having to report short exempts, which would be a major loophole once again if the SEC lets this slide. Now, Rule 203B, paragraph 2, bill before locate rule. The SEC should know exactly what market makers do with quote-unquote exempt shares. What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Today we have a ton of stuff to cover, as you can see, with AMC, the CAT system, Ken Griffin, GameStop, of course, the overall market, crypto, Tesla, and then the earnings plays that we're playing tonight and what happened yesterday. So make sure to watch until the end of the video, like the video for me, subscribe to the channel. It pushes the video out to more apes like you guys, and also hit that notification bell. I would have had a video up earlier this morning, but there was a lot of technical difficulties, and it's been a long morning to say the least. Without further ado, let's get into it. Ken Griffin of Citadel has said that a default cycle is going to happen again. A default cycle was recently talked about by Apollo Management. In quotes, with the Fed keeping rates higher for longer, higher debt costs will continue to weigh on earnings and interest coverage ratios over the coming quarters, and both IG and HY companies will experience higher refinancing costs, which is all to say that borrowing money has become too expensive for firms and a lot more of them are going to default. Moving on, take a look at this. 1.271 million 321,000 short exempt volume on GameStop. Before this, yesterday, we talked about 333,000 on GameStop, which is a number we haven't seen. Short exempt volume over 1 million on GameStop is not a number we've seen since it was running, in my opinion, I believe, to $500 a share, when it was squeezing, when the algorithms were trying to push it as hard as possible. Now, if this rule is implemented where they just basically take short exempts out of the CAT, then it's going to be a problem. However, if it's not, and the CAT system causes this to be reported and causes them not only have to reset the clock, but instead have to cover these shares, this may just be a win for AMC and GameStop. And the more things like this get implemented, this may just be the only one that needs to get implemented, the closer we are to actually squeezing. Call to put ratio, we're winning on the option chain for GameStop, 22,000 calls compared to 5,000 puts expiring in the money. And I don't think market makers can win on this week, and we're going to get into the charts in 1 second. But AMC, 33,000 calls compared to 10,000 puts expiring in the money, and a ton of people betting bullish on the week and the weeks to come. Short exempts still remain extremely high, over 300,000 for AMC. Vortex numbers, 19.64%. According to Ortex, short interest on AMC above 54 million shares now, continuing to rise slowly. Now, GameStop, exactly what we said after we came into this zone. Between both of the wicks on this candle, we're going to trade in between that for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. And that's what's happening right now. You're getting that first day here. Not much else to say. AMC, $3.15, down 4.26% on the day. There are two outcomes we talked about yesterday, and earnings is going to be the major deciding factor. Adam Aron said he has a lot to say. This is either going to cut the cycle short and cause AMC to squeeze, or it's going to perfectly bring AMC's cycle down to the bottom, which is around 199, coincidentally, which is where AMC actually hit its low before all the splits and dilution that occurred. Right? That is what is essentially going to happen on earnings. It's going to drag AMC down to $1.99 before squeezing, or Adam Aron is going to drop a shell that short sellers aren't going to be able to control, and we are going to squeeze. Either way, we're very, very close to a scenario that we don't come out of. Okay, moving on from AMC and GameStop, people are still calling for a market crash, similar to 1987, similar to 2008, similar to any time frame that they can basically pick up, and that's exactly why I just entered calls on the SPY. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to happen. People are calling for, the SPY to come back down, retest the lows here, and then break lower. That can happen in the near future, but not too soon. In my opinion, The SPY is going to keep rallying. We have hit my first price target that I called out yesterday, okay? The SPY gapped right up to this first target that I said in yesterday's video. You cannot make this up, 518. Lottery stocks, what's your next price target? 524.50. That is my next price target on the SPY, and I think we are going to hit it, so I am sitting in calls. If you want to know the trade, the exact trade, and when I take it right on the dot, get in the Discord. The link is under the video. Now, the only crash crypto investors are calling for is this, a rising wedge and a break to the downside. Now, are they onto something? They could potentially be onto something, and I'm going to explain a couple things here for you guys. The monthly candle close, this is the bearish case scenario because we actually got a close under support at 61,500, which was under the previous high ever so slightly. Now, you could argue, no, this based just right off of the top of the high, but actually it's making lower lows and lower highs on the monthly time frame, which is not something that you want to see for Bitcoin, indicating weakness here. Okay, once volume fades off and we do potentially build support anywhere from 55,000 to 60,000, and then volume comes back in and momentum comes back in, we could have a shot at coming back into this range between 72 and 80K for Bitcoin. But I just want to let you know on the monthly time frame that we could have a sell-off for quite a bit before getting to those levels. That doesn't have to happen. Again, I just want to put this on your radar. And last but not least, for crypto, South Korea's new government will vote to allow spot Bitcoin ETFs in June. Finally, I want to touch on Tesla really quick. I think Tesla is looking actually pretty bullish. It's coming back down, it's basing here, and I think Tesla is going to have a pop, so I'm just keeping a side eye on it, watching for potential entry on calls. Nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Finally, blue chips, speaking of Tesla, Apple and Rivian reportedly in talks for partnerships. Rivian also to report earnings or have already had their earnings. Speaking of earnings, what are we playing tonight and what happened yesterday? If you guys aren't in the Discord, get in the Discord, guys. The link is right under the description. I post my trades as soon as I take them, and I also tell you which way I am trading earnings, and we all talk stocks and crypto, deciding which way we are going to play these stocks. So if you're not in, it's cheap. The link is right under the description. It's the second link, and I'm also going to pin it in the comments for you directly under the Moomoo link, where you can get up to 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent 7 for just signing up, opening an account, and making a deposit. So guys, go do that. It takes 2 minutes out of your day to do both of these. You're getting free stocks and you're getting in an amazing Discord for a super cheap price, and you're grandfathered in at that price, and I got some super cool stuff coming. Okay, Palantir ended up diving off on earnings. This was a stupid trade, I'm not gonna lie. We ended up going calls. My gut was 50-50 on this. I was slightly feeling puts just for the fact that it was up already 24%, testing the top of this range. Either way, we got smacked down. Palantir, we took a loss, not a good start to the week. Disney calls took a loss as well, down 11% for Disney, coming down to one of the price targets, 108, actually breaking lower. And I think Disney is going to come right down to 102.50. Okay, earnings for tonight. Hopefully we get a little bit of a bounce back. We are playing Upstart, ticker symbol UPST. Now, I'm not going to tell you which way, but I'll give you some guidance. This is the chart that we're looking at right now, and just some things to help you guys out because I do care about you guys. Upstart has a 33% short interest and has a strong sell wall, a put wall at $32.50 and a call wall at $23, and I could go more in depth, but that is what I'm going to leave you guys with. Overall, I love you guys. This is what I got for you for today's video. Again, have post notifications on, get in the Discord, get your free stocks. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.